The day has ended, the world outside grows quiet, but inside, your mind may still be racing. Emails unanswered, conversations replayed, plans for tomorrow already pressing in. You have carried much today. Responsibilities, worries, memories of what went wrong, expectations of what still must be fixed. And yet, here you are, in this moment, in this silence. The Stoics remind us that the mind is the only place where freedom begins. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." He was not speaking of escape into mountains or temples. He was pointing to something nearer, closer than breath. The retreat inside yourself. Tonight, this retreat is open. It waits for you. It asks only that you set down what you have been carrying. Think of the mind like a traveler. All day, it has wandered across busy streets. It has picked up noise, dust, distraction. Now the traveler returns home, and at the threshold, he removes his load. He steps inside, lighter, freer. This is the invitation of the night, not merely to sleep, but to return. To return to the place that has always been yours, the place no noise can touch, the place no one can take. How often do we miss it? We lie down, but the mind refuses to rest. We scroll through memories or rehearse arguments never spoken. We let the weight of the day bleed into the night, and then we wake, already tired. The Stoics saw this clearly. They knew that rest is not given by circumstance. It is chosen by practice. Just as strength is trained in the gym, stillness is trained in the soul. Epictetus reminded his students, "You cannot control the world outside, but you can control how you respond within." And tonight, your response can be simple. You choose to let go. You choose to lay down the day. You choose to walk into stillness. Picture this moment. The sky darkens, the noise of the city fades. You close your eyes, the breath slows, and one by one, the thoughts release their grip. This is not an escape. It is a return to order. The same way nature returns to quiet after a storm, the same way the sea calms after the winds withdraw, you too can return to calm, because peace is not somewhere else. It is already here, waiting to be uncovered. Seneca wrote, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable." But you do not need to live in the future tonight. You do not need to solve what tomorrow will bring. You need only this moment, this breath, this silence. And so, we begin. A night not of noise, but of reflection. A night not of striving, but of release. A night guided by the wisdom of those who walked before us. Let the words of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus become companions on your path into rest. Not as distant philosophers, but as fellow travelers who also knew the weight of the world. They remind us, nothing is truly ours except our mind, and within it lies the power to choose peace. As you listen tonight, you may drift in and out of thought. You may drift into sleep. That is welcome. For the wisdom of the Stoics is not just to be studied, it is to be lived. It is to sink into you the way the night sky sinks into the horizon. Let this be your practice, to let the mind release, to let the body rest, to let wisdom carry you where worry cannot. So, close the door of today. Open the window of the soul. Step into the retreat that has always been waiting. For tonight, Stoic philosophy is not a lesson. It is a lullaby, a gentle guide, a quiet hand leading you from noise into stillness. And as we begin this journey together, hold one thought steady. Peace is not given by the world. Peace is chosen by the soul. On sleep as a teacher, sleep is often seen as an end, the shutting down of the day, the body resting, the mind wandering into dreams. But the Stoics would remind us, sleep is more than rest. Sleep is a teacher. Every night it gives us a lesson in surrender, a lesson in letting go of control. Think of what happens when you close your eyes. The heart continues to beat, the lungs continue to rise and fall, the world keeps moving forward, and yet you are absent from it. You do not control the breath. You do not direct the beating of your heart. You do not hold the universe in place. Life continues without your effort. This is humbling. This is instructive. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good." When he speaks of death, he is not only pointing to the end of life, he is pointing to the small death that arrives each night, the death of control, the surrender of the self, the reminder that you are not the master of the universe. And so, sleep becomes practice. Practice in acceptance, practice in humility, practice in trust. Epictetus told his students, "Some things are in our control and others not." It is the most basic of Stoic lessons, and yet it is the one we resist most fiercely. We want the world to bend. We want people to behave as we expect. We want outcomes to unfold according to our plan. But each night, sleep takes that illusion from us. It says, "You are not in charge of the stars. You are not in charge of the beating of your heart. You are not in charge of tomorrow's weather or tomorrow's news. You are not in charge of how long you will live. You are in charge only of how you meet this moment." And when the moment is sleep, the lesson is simple: to let go. Imagine the body lying in bed, the muscles soften, the breath steadies, the grip of the day loosens. This is not weakness, this is strength. For what is strength, if not the ability to yield when yielding is wise? We often confuse control with power, but the Stoics saw it differently. Seneca wrote, "The greatest empire is to be master of oneself." And mastery does not mean holding tighter, it means knowing when to release, when to accept, when to rest. Sleep is therefore not just a biological necessity, it is a nightly training in stoicism, a practice of non-resistance, a rehearsal for peace. Think of the farmer who plants seeds. He does not command the rain. He does not order the sun to rise. He works, he prepares, and then he lets go. Nature does the rest. In the same way, we act during the day. We strive, we build, we labor, and then at night we must surrender. The harvest will come without our watching. How often do we resist this? We lie awake, clinging to thought. We replay conversations. We try to control what cannot be changed, and so we suffer. But if you listen closely, sleep whispers a different way. It says, "Lay down the day. You have done enough. The world will go on." And it does. Every night, the earth spins, the tides move, the stars travel their course. Without you, this is not meant to diminish you, it is meant to free you. For when you see that the universe does not rest on your shoulders, you are free to rest yourself. The Stoics believed in harmony with nature, to live according to it, not against it. Nature itself shows you this rhythm, day and night, action and rest, effort and release. When you resist, you break. When you flow, you endure. So tonight, let sleep be your teacher. When you feel the urge to grasp, remember, not everything is yours to hold. When you feel the need to solve, remember, not everything is yours to solve. When you feel the weight of tomorrow pressing in, remember, tomorrow has not yet arrived. Marcus reminded himself each evening, do not disturb yourself by picturing your life as a whole. Do not assemble in your mind the many and grievous troubles that are to come. But ask yourself about each day. Was I not given today? You were given today, and now you are given this night. It is enough. Let the teacher of sleep guide you. Let it strip away the illusion of control. Let it bring you into the simplicity of now. For when you wake, the world will continue. And when you rise, you will rise lighter. Remember this truth. Sleep is not the absence of control. It is the reminder that you never needed it. On the weight of the day has its weight. You can feel it now, heavy on the chest, lingering in the mind. Not just the tasks you completed, but the ones left undone. Not only the words you spoke, but also the words you wish you had spoken differently. Every day, we collect burdens, a look that felt dismissive, a mistake made in haste, a plan that failed, an expectation unmet. And when the sun sets, the body longs to rest, but the mind refuses. It replays the day, it replays the failures, it replays the imagined judgment of others. This is the weight you carry into the night. But the Stoics saw this weight clearly. They knew that much of it was illusion. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Think of that. Most of your suffering is not from what truly happened. It is from what the mind builds on top of what happened. The argument replayed again and again, the criticism magnified, the mistake turned into a prophecy of future failure. You may have dropped a glass. The glass broke. That is reality. But then the mind says, I am careless. I always fail. What will others think of me? That is imagination. That is weight added to weight. You may have missed a deadline. Reality, the task is delayed. But the mind whispers, I am not competent. I will lose respect. This will ruin everything. Again, imagination. And so, the weight of the day grows. Not from what is, but from what the mind invents. Epictetus reminded his students, it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. What disturbs your rest tonight is not the events of the day, but the story you tell about them. The Stoics invite you to examine these stories, to hold them up to the light, to ask, is this reality, or is this imagination? Reality is often lighter than we think. A missed call, a meeting that did not go well, a project delayed. They are pebbles, but the mind turns them into boulders. Why do we do this? Because the mind craves control. It believes that by replaying, by analyzing, by anticipating, it can change what already is. But the truth is simple. The day has ended, its events are sealed. No amount of worry reopens them. So the Stoics practiced release. At the end of the day, they reviewed their actions, not to punish themselves, but to learn, to see what was within their control and what was not. Then they let the rest fall away. Imagine this practice for yourself tonight. Close your eyes, see the weight of the day before you. One by one, name the burdens. Then ask, is this fact or is this fear? Is this reality or imagination? You will find that much of what you carry dissolves under that question. Seneca, again, he suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary. How much of your suffering tonight is borrowed from tomorrow? How much of your pain is an echo created by your own mind? Let this awareness lighten you. You need not deny what happened. Yes, mistakes were made. Yes, words were spoken. Yes, the day was imperfect, but imperfection is the natural weight of being human. It does not need to crush you. Marcus Aurelius, writing to himself, admitted, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. The day cannot be changed, but your estimate of the day can, and with it, your rest." So as you lie here, notice the weight. Notice how the body tenses when the mind replays the failures, and then remind yourself, this is only imagination. You need not rehearse it again. You need not carry it into sleep. Let the weight of the day fall where it belongs in the past. You have done what you could. You cannot undo. You cannot redo. You can only release. And in this release, there is freedom. For sleep is not for the perfect. It is for the imperfect who allow themselves to rest anyway. Remember this truth. The day is over. Its weight is no longer yours to hold. The discipline of letting go. The day rarely feels finished. There is always one more task, one more message unanswered, one more responsibility waiting. And so we carry it with us, into the evening, into the night, even into our sleep. We tell ourselves we will rest when the work is done. But the truth is, the work is never done. The mind always finds more to hold. This is why the Stoics spoke of discipline, not only the discipline to act, but the discipline to stop, to set down what does not belong to the night. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "If you seek tranquility, do less, or rather, do what's essential," which brings a double satisfaction. To do less, better. Doing less is not laziness, it is wisdom. It is knowing that you cannot do everything, and that you do not need to. To practice letting go is to practice strength. It is easy to cling, it is hard to release, but only in release do we discover peace. Think of the hand. If it grips too tightly, the muscles ache. If it never opens, it forgets its own freedom. The mind is the same. If it holds too much, it grows restless. If it never lets go, it forgets what peace feels like. And so tonight, we practice the discipline of letting go. Pause for a moment. Notice your breath. Do not try to control it. Do not force it to be long or short. Simply notice. The air enters, the air leaves, a rhythm older than thought. As you notice, let the shoulders soften, let the jaw unclench, let the chest loosen. The body remembers what the mind forgets, how to release. Now, imagine your thoughts as stones in a bag. Each worry, each unfinished task, each regret, another stone added to the load. Feel the weight of that bag, heavy, unbearable. Now imagine setting it down, not throwing it away, not destroying it, just placing it on the ground. For the night is not the time to carry stones. The night is for rest. This is discipline. The discipline to say, enough. The discipline to choose peace over obsession. The discipline to stop rehearsing the day. Seneca observed, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future." To enjoy the present, you must release the grip of what is unfinished, for everything is always unfinished. Life is never complete, and yet peace is possible in each moment. Letting go does not mean neglect. It does not mean you abandon your duties. It means you put them in their place. Day belongs to action. Night belongs to rest. To confuse them is to live in conflict. Ask yourself now, what am I still holding? A mistake at work, a conversation unresolved, a fear of tomorrow's demand. Hold it in your mind, see it clearly, and then breathe, inhale, exhale. With the exhale, imagine setting it down. You may pick it up tomorrow if you must, but not tonight. Tonight is for stillness. The Stoics understood this as part of nature's rhythm: action and pause, effort and ease, holding and releasing. To resist the rhythm is to exhaust yourself. To move with it is to live in harmony. Epictetus said, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." What is in your power tonight is rest. What is not in your power is the past. What is not in your power is tomorrow. So why hold it? Why carry what you cannot shape? Think of the tree in autumn. The leaves have turned. The season shifts. The tree does not cling to what is finished. It lets the leaves fall, and by letting go, it survives the winter. You too must let the leaves of the day fall. The conversation is over. The work is paused. The sun has set. Let it go. This is the practice. To remind yourself again and again, I do not need to hold this now. You may find the mind resists. It picks up the bag again. It rehearses the worry again. Do not be harsh with it. Gently, with each breath, set it down again. The discipline is in the repetition, the practice of release over and over until it becomes natural. And notice what happens when you let go. The breath deepens, the body softens, the mind grows quieter. Peace begins to emerge, not because the world is solved, but because you stopped trying to solve it tonight. This is not avoidance, it is alignment. Alignment with the truth that night is not for controlling, it is for trusting. And when you wake, the world will still be there, but you will meet it with clearer eyes, with steadier hands, with a rested soul. So, as you drift tonight, hold this thought steady. Letting go is not losing, it is gaining freedom. It is remembering that not everything belongs in your hands, and peace begins the moment you practice release. On desire and restlessness. Why is it that the body grows still, yet the mind refuses to rest? You lie down, the room is quiet, the day has ended, but inside, the current is strong. 1,000 thoughts rushing forward. What creates this restlessness? The Stoics answered, desire. Not desire fulfilled, but desire unmet. The hunger that has not been satisfied. Think of it. You may not be hungry for food, but you hunger for recognition, for progress, for love, for certainty about tomorrow. And when these desires remain unanswered, the mind spins. It asks, what if I fail? What if I lose? What if I never gain what I seek? This is why the night feels heavy, not because of what is present, but because of what is absent. Not because of what you have, but because of what you long for. Epictetus spoke directly to this. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Desire ties us to what we cannot control, the approval of others, the success of our plans, the response of those we love, the fortune of tomorrow. And so long as our peace depends on these, peace will escape us. Imagine a sailor at sea. The wind is calm, the sails are set. But instead of steering his vessel, he shouts at the sky, demanding wind. He cannot rest, because his desire has chained him to what is not his to command. Are we not like this sailor? We demand that the world supply our wants. We demand that life bow to our longing, and when it does not, we thrash in the silence of night. But the Stoic practice is different. It is to release the chain of desire, not to kill it completely, for desire is natural to the human heart, but to see it clearly, to name it, to measure it against reason, and then to place it in its rightful place, outside your control. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So, ask yourself tonight, what desire still disturbs me? Is it praise? Is it certainty? Is it wealth? Is it control over what cannot be controlled? Bring it into the light of awareness. Do not run from it. Do not deny it. Face it. See it for what it is. A thought, not a truth. A longing, not a necessity. The restlessness begins to ease when you see clearly. You realize, I do not need this fulfilled to rest. I do not need this answered to breathe. I do not need this secured to be free. Think of the countless nights lost to desire, the person who lies awake worrying about tomorrow's deal, the one who replays what they wish someone had said, the one who imagines the life they do not yet live. They lose the present, chasing what is not here. Seneca reminded us, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. Poverty of peace comes not from lack of possessions, but from endless craving. And so, the practice of tonight is simple. When restlessness rises, ask, is this in my control? If the answer is no, you know what to do. Release it, not with anger, not with despair, but with calm surrender. Return to the breath. Inhale, exhale. Each breath is proof that life is already enough. You are alive. You are here. You are safe in this moment. The desires may whisper still. Let them. They are like clouds drifting across the sky. They pass. They do not belong to you. The discipline is to return again and again to the breath, to the body at rest, to the soul that needs nothing more than this moment. Freedom, as Epictetus taught, is won in this way, not by silencing every longing forever, but by refusing to be enslaved by them, by remembering that the night belongs not to desire, but to peace. As you drift, picture yourself placing each desire on a table. Lay them down, one by one. Work, approval, future, control. Each placed gently aside. They will be there tomorrow if you wish to pick them up. But tonight, they are not needed. And when the table is clear, you see what remains. Breath, silence, the steady beating of your heart. Enough for peace, enough for rest. So, let the desires wait. Let the restlessness pass. For tonight, you do not need to be more. You do not need to gain more. You do not need to solve more. You only need to be. And that is freedom. The quiet strength of acceptance. The mind often resists what stands before it. It looks at the day and says, this should not have happened. It looks at the mirror and says, I should be further along. It looks at the world and says, people should be kinder, plans should be smoother, life should be easier. In that quiet revolt against reality, peace drains away. Not because life is unlivable, but because the mind is busy fighting what already is. Marcus Aurelius, who carried a nation on his shoulders, left a simple instruction. Accept the things to which fate binds you. He did not ask you to like everything. He did not ask you to excuse injustice or abandon effort. He asked for a posture, a way of meeting the present without breaking yourself against it. Acceptance is not weakness. It is a form of strength that moves without noise. It is the decision to place your energy where it matters, inside your own response. When you accept the moment, you stop spending your life on the impossible project of remaking the past. You conserve strength for what remains possible. Think of a river meeting a rock. It does not freeze. It does not curse the stone. It notices, then adjusts. It narrows, it deepens, it flows around. The rock remains, and yet the river still reaches the sea. Acceptance is this movement, seeing clearly, adapting calmly, continuing. To accept the present is to accept imperfection. There are cracks in the day, there are cracks in us. The cup is chipped, but it still holds water. The plan slipped, but it still taught something. The conversation missed the words you wanted, but it showed you what matters next time. Imperfection is not a verdict, it is a teacher. Your life, like a gem, is polished by friction. If you grind against the friction with anger, you only bleed. If you meet it with steadiness, it refines you. You become patient, resilient, precise, quiet, and strong at once. Tonight, practice the quiet strength of acceptance. Begin with body. Let the jaw loosen, let the shoulders settle. Notice the weight of the blanket. Feel the mattress hold you up without asking anything from you. Let the breath fall into its own rhythm. You do not command it, you receive it. Now move from the body to the day. Name the parts you still resist. The delay that interrupted your plan. The email that never came. The mistake you wish you could pull back into your hands and fix. See them as they are, not as your fear paints them. They are events. They have already happened. They cannot be negotiated with in the dark. They cannot be edited by worry. Acceptance does not end responsibility, it clarifies it. When you accept that a decision is past, you stop arguing with yesterday and ask the right questions about tomorrow. What can be amended? What apology can be made? What process can be improved? The rest is noise. The rest is theater inside the mind. Consider 3 domains: the past, the present, and what lies outside you altogether. The past is sealed. The outside world is not yours. Only the present response is open to your hand. This is the quiet geometry of control the Stoics drew. Acceptance places you inside that geometry, where your steps can be simple and clean. You may ask, if I accept, will I become passive? Acceptance is not surrender of effort, it is surrender of illusion. You stop trying to move walls by wishing, you start moving your feet. You stop begging the storm to end. You start setting the sail that works with the wind you have. Try this small practice. Bring to mind one imperfection you keep revisiting, a flaw in your work, a habit you cannot change overnight, a part of your story that embarrasses you when the room grows quiet. Notice the rising tension. Now breathe in and say, "This is here." Breathe out and say, "I remain." Again, in, "This is here." Out, "I remain." The fact stands, and so do you. From this steadiness, choose one next action that belongs to you and only you. An email you can write tomorrow. A boundary you can express with respect. A single step in a long repair. Let the rest be. Let it belong to fate, to time, to other people and their choices. Some things can be shaped by mourning. Some will never be shaped by you. Acceptance is the wisdom that tells them apart before midnight steals your sleep. There is also acceptance of the self, the image you carry of the perfect you, tireless and untroubled, is not required for a meaningful life. You are a person, not a statue. You burn out, you misread a tone, you forget, you learn. To accept yourself is not to stop improving. It is to improve from a place of respect rather than contempt. Contempt corrodes effort. Respect sustains it. Think of someone you admire for their calm. They are not calm because the world respects their plan. They are calm because they respect reality. They feel the tug to resist, and they choose alignment instead. They bow slightly to what is, so they can stand fully in who they are. Let acceptance reach even further, to the body you inhabit, to the season you are in, to the limits that define your shape. You do not need to be limitless to be at peace. You need to be honest. You need to be aligned. When the mind begins to argue again, come back to the breath. Let the inhale arrive by itself. Let the exhale leave by itself. Say quietly, allow. Say quietly, enough. Not enough as a verdict, but enough as a place to stand while life continues to unfold. The night is a teacher of acceptance. It accepts the city as it is and lays darkness over it. It accepts the unfinished street and the half-written page. It invites rest without conditions. Follow the invitation. Lay down the mental tools for now. You will pick them up again with clearer hands. Acceptance also protects love. When you stop demanding that others fix your inner weather, your relationships breathe. You listen more. You accuse less. You ask for what you need without punishing the other for not reading your silence. You let people be people. You let yourself be human in front of them. If you wish for a sentence to carry into sleep, use this. I will do what belongs to me, and I will accept what does not. Repeat it until the muscles of the mind unclench. Repeat it until the body understands and follows. And when doubt returns, recall Marcus again. Accept the things to which fate binds you. Not because fate is always kind, but because fighting the present makes you blind. Acceptance clears the vision. From clear vision, action becomes clean. Before we close, place the day in 3 small baskets. First basket, what I did well enough. Second basket, what I can adjust tomorrow. Third basket, what is not mine. Bless the first with gratitude. Plan 1 step for the second. Set the third aside. This is acceptance in practice. This is peace with a structure. Now rest in the simplest truth. You are here. This breath arrives. This breath leaves. The room is quiet. Let the mind soften around these words. Let the body mirror the message. Accept the dimness of the room, the nearness of sleep, the faint movement of the chest. Accept that today is over. Accept that tomorrow can begin without rehearsal. Accept that imperfections remain and that you remain with them, sturdy, present, kind. Then, when sleep comes, receive it the way you receive the air, gratefully, without bargaining, without resistance. Acceptance does not erase the world. It situates you in it. It turns struggle into training. It turns noise into background. It turns the present into a place you can finally stand. Stand there now, in quiet strength, and let peace arrive. Reflections on time. Time is the one resource we cannot restore. Once gone, it does not return. The day that just ended will never arrive again. We can replace money. We can repair buildings. We can rebuild reputations. But not a single moment can be brought back from the past. This truth frightened some, but for the Stoics, it was not meant to create fear. It was meant to create clarity. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." The problem is not the length of life. It is how we spend it. We lose hours not because they are stolen, but because we give them away carelessly. Think of today. How many minutes were consumed by distraction? How many thoughts were wasted on worries that never became reality? How much of your attention was given to things that did not matter, or to people who did not value it? This is not to condemn you. It is simply to notice, to see clearly that time slips not through theft, but through neglect. The Stoics saw time as a sacred currency. To spend it without thought was to live as if life were infinite. To spend it with intention was to honor the gift of existence. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself each morning, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." He did not mean this as despair. He meant it as awakening, a call to live fully in what is already here. Tonight, as you reflect, you may be tempted to regret, to think, "I wasted too much of this day, I wasted too many years." But regret is another form of waste. The past is gone. The only wise response is to let the loss teach you, to decide that tomorrow you will treat time differently. Imagine your life as a scroll. Each day, a line written. Some lines are careful, meaningful. Others are careless, blurred, but you cannot erase. You can only write the next line with greater attention. This is why the Stoics practiced reflection at night. They looked back not to punish themselves, but to sharpen the next day. They asked, "What did I do well? What did I neglect? What will I change?" Then they slept, leaving the answers to settle in the soul. Think now of your own time, not the years ahead, not the decades you hope for. Think only of today. Where did it go? What did you give your hours to? Did those hours build something within you? Did they serve your soul, or did they scatter it? Notice and breathe. Do not condemn, simply observe. Awareness is the first step toward wisdom. Seneca warned that people guard their property carefully, yet squander their time. They fear thieves who might steal coins, but they do not fear the hours taken by trivialities. And yet, time is the greater treasure. Money lost can be earned again. Time lost is gone forever. What then is the practice? It is not to measure every second with fear. It is not to live in constant anxiety about loss. It is to live with intention, to give your time to what matters, and to withdraw it from what does not. Even now, lying in the quiet of night, you may feel the urge to revisit hours wasted. Release them. They cannot be recovered. Let them remind you instead. Tomorrow, choose better. Tomorrow, protect your hours the way you would protect your last coin. Picture time as water flowing from a jar. You cannot stop the flow, but you can choose where to pour it. Into shallow ground, where it vanishes, or into fertile soil, where it nourishes. The jar is finite, but used well, it gives life. This is why sleep is not wasted. Sleep restores the body and the mind so that the hours of the day can be used with strength. Rest is not negligence, it is investment. Without it, the next day is stolen before it begins. So, as you rest tonight, remind yourself, time is not endless, but it is enough. Each day, a portion is given, not to be hoarded, not to be thrown away, but to be lived with care. And what is care? It is not filling every moment with noise. It is not rushing from task to task without breath. Care is giving yourself fully to what you do. Whether working, resting, speaking, or simply being, a short moment lived with depth is worth more than long hours lived without presence. The Stoics valued presence above duration, for they knew that meaning comes not from the length of life, but from its depth. And depth is always available in the present moment. Take another breath now. Notice its simplicity. This breath has never happened before. It will never happen again. It arrives. It leaves. One small portion of time, complete in itself. If you can be present for one breath, you can be present for one moment. And if you can be present for one moment, you can live a life of meaning, no matter how many years are given. Remember this truth as you drift toward sleep. Time cannot be lengthened, but it can be deepened. And the depth of your life is measured not in years, but in presence. So tonight, let go of the past. Do not waste another moment regretting what is already gone. Let go of the future. Do not waste another moment rehearsing what has not yet arrived. Stay here, with this breath, with this night, with this stillness, for here, in acceptance of time as it is, peace begins. On anxiety and the future, the past is gone, it cannot be recalled, but the mind does not stop there. It runs ahead, it leaps into tomorrow, and in this leap, anxiety is born. For anxiety is nothing more than living in the future before it arrives. You lie down, yet your thoughts rise. You wonder, what if I fail tomorrow? What if I lose what I have? What if the future does not unfold as I hope? The body is still, but the mind is already living in a day that has not dawned. This is the weight of anxiety. It takes the shadows of possibility and treats them as certainty. It robs the present of rest in the name of a tomorrow that may never come. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Do not be anxious about the future. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same reason that you use today." This is the Stoic answer. You cannot live tomorrow's life tonight. You can only meet tomorrow when it becomes today. And when it comes, you will meet it with the same reason, the same strength, the same courage that has carried you this far. Epictetus taught his students, "When we are hindered, or disturbed, or grieved, let us never blame others, but ourselves, that is, our own opinions." Anxiety is born not from the future itself, but from our opinions of it. We imagine the worst. We magnify the threat. We forget our own resilience. Seneca wrote, "We are in the habit of exaggerating, or imagining, or anticipating sorrow." And so much of our anxiety is not truth. It is imagination rehearsing pain. How then do we free ourselves? Not by trying to erase the future, not by demanding certainty where none can exist, but by practicing presence, by returning the mind to this breath, to this body, to this moment. Try it now. Bring your attention to the rise and fall of your chest. Feel the air move in, feel it move out. This is real, this is here. Tomorrow is not. Notice the bed beneath you. Notice the fabric against your skin. Notice the heaviness of your body sinking into stillness. All of this is present. All of this is certain. The rest is not. When your mind begins to wander into what if, gently guide it back with a simple question. What is true right now? Right now, you are safe. Right now, you are breathing. Right now, you are alive. Right now, nothing is demanded of you except rest. This is the Stoic practice, to root yourself in what is, not in what might be. Marcus, again, never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Do you see the wisdom? The same mind that handled today will be with you tomorrow. The same courage that carried you through yesterday will be with you again. So why live tomorrow's battles twice? Anxiety drains you in advance. It spends energy on a problem that is not yet real, and when the real problem arrives, you are left weaker because you already fought it in your imagination. Instead, conserve your strength. Stay in today. Meet tomorrow when it comes, not before. Picture yourself holding two baskets. One is light. It holds today's duties. The other is heavy. It holds tomorrow's imagined burdens. Which will you carry tonight? The Stoic chooses the lighter basket, the one that belongs to this day, and when the day is done, he sets even that one down. For the night is not for carrying, but for laying burdens aside. This does not mean neglect. It does not mean you abandon prudence or planning. The Stoics valued preparation, but they drew a line between wise preparation and anxious rehearsal. Preparation belongs to action, anxiety belongs to imagination. So, prepare what you must during the day, but when the night comes, let it go. Trust that tomorrow will give you the strength you need when it arrives. Let's practice this now. As you breathe, bring to mind one worry about tomorrow. Name it softly. A meeting, a responsibility, a fear of what may happen. See it clearly. Now, with your exhale, imagine placing it in a box. Close the lid. Place the box outside the door of your mind. Say quietly, "Not tonight." The box will be there tomorrow, but tonight is not for carrying. Tonight is for peace. Repeat this with each worry that comes. One by one, place them outside. Do not wrestle with them. Do not argue. Simply set them down. This is the discipline of presence. Notice how the body softens when the mind stops leaping ahead. Notice how rest becomes possible when tomorrow is left for tomorrow. Remember Seneca's warning. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Anxiety is suffering in imagination. You do not need to suffer twice. So tonight, choose this practice. Return to the present again and again, to the breath, to the body, to the silence of the room. And when your mind drifts toward tomorrow, whisper to yourself, "I will meet it when it comes." For this is the truth. Tomorrow is not yours yet. Only this moment is, and in this moment, peace is possible. Let your final thought be simple. Anxiety is living in tomorrow. Wisdom is living in today, and peace is found only here. The gift of silence. When the noise of tomorrow fades, what remains? Silence. And in silence, there is a gift. We often treat silence as absence. No words, no music, no distraction. But silence is not empty. Silence is full. It is a presence. It is the space where peace enters. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "Men seek retreats for themselves, houses in the country, seashores, and mountains. But nowhere can a man retreat more peacefully than into his own soul." Silence is that retreat, not a place you travel to, not a room you must build. It is here, already within you. Yet, how often do we fear it? We fill every quiet with sound, the radio in the car, the endless scroll on the phone, the chatter of words that do not matter. We fear silence because it holds up a mirror. It shows us what the noise hides, our restlessness, our longing, our truth. But to embrace silence is to embrace healing, for silence does not harm, it reveals. It clears the dust so you can see. Seneca wrote, "It is not that life is short, but that we make it so by frittering it away in noise. Noise consumes life. Silence restores it. Think of a pond. When stirred, the water clouds. You cannot see the bottom, but when left still, the water clears. The stones appear. The depth is visible. So too with the mind. In silence, the truth becomes clear. Tonight, let silence be your companion, not as emptiness but as teacher. Begin by listening. Listen not for music or voices. Listen for the hum beneath it all, the stillness between breaths, the pause between words. That space is silence, and it is alive. Notice how silence does not demand. It does not ask you to prove. It does not measure your worth. It simply accepts. It says, "You are here. That is enough. This is why silence is a gift, because it offers acceptance without condition. And yet, silence is not only rest, it is strength. In silence, you regain clarity. You see which thoughts are worthy and which are mere echoes. You see which desires are noise and which are rooted in truth. The Stoics practiced silence not as withdrawal, but as sharpening. They spoke less, so that their words would carry weight. They sought quiet, so that their actions would be guided by reason, not by impulse. Epictetus advised, "Be silent for the most part, or speak only what is necessary," not because speaking is wrong, but because silence teaches you the value of speech. Only when you know silence can you know which words are worth breaking it. Tonight, silence is your training ground. Do not fear it. Do not rush to fill it. Let it surround you like a cloak. Let it hold you like a friend. Close your eyes. Listen to the quiet of the room. Maybe there is the faint hum of the world outside, but beneath it is stillness. Let that stillness rise. Let it fill the mind. Let it soften the edges of thought. Imagine yourself sitting in a vast hall. No sound, no distraction, only silence stretching outward. At first, you may feel uneasy, but stay. Slowly, the silence begins to embrace you. The mind slows, the body eases, peace emerges. This is the gift of silence. It cannot be bought. It cannot be forced. It arrives when you stop reaching, when you stop filling every space with noise, when you simply allow. Notice now how silence reveals gratitude. When the chatter fades, you hear the simple blessings, the rhythm of breath, the softness of the bed, the quiet presence of being alive. Silence makes the ordinary sacred. It also reveals strength. For the one who can dwell in silence, who does not need distraction to escape themselves, that one is unshakable. They have made peace with their own company. They have entered the retreat. Marcus spoke of the retreat inside the soul. So, let tonight be that retreat. Let silence wash over you, not as emptiness, but as fullness, not as absence, but as presence. Breathe deeply. Feel the chest rise. Feel it fall. Between each breath is silence. Listen for it. Welcome it. Rest in it. If the mind wanders, return to the pause, the space between inhale and exhale, the gap between thought and thought. That gap is silence. That gap is freedom. Remember, noise belongs to the day. Demands, conversations, tasks, they fill the daylight hours. But night belongs to silence, to stillness, to the soul's retreat. Take this gift fully. Let silence be your medicine. Let it be your shelter. Let it be your guide. And as you drift, carry this truth. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is the presence of peace. On resentment and release, the day often leaves marks on the heart. Not just the work undone, but the words spoken carelessly. Not just the delays and disappointments, but the sharp edges of people's actions. A colleague dismissed you. A friend ignored your message. A stranger cut you off in traffic. Small things, perhaps, but carried into the night, they grow heavy. Resentment is this weight. It is pain reheated, a wound kept open by memory, and the mind, unwilling to let it heal, presses it again and again. But the Stoics saw resentment for what it is, a second wound. The first comes from what others did. The second comes from what we choose to carry. They reminded themselves, you cannot control the actions of others, you can only control your response. The hurt is real, but whether it becomes poison, that is up to you. Imagine this. Someone throws a coal at you. If you catch it, you burn. If you let it fall, you remain unharmed. Resentment is choosing to hold the coal. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Do you see? When you cling to resentment, you become a mirror of the harm. When you release, you remain yourself. Tonight, the invitation is release. Not to deny the pain, not to excuse the wrong, but to stop drinking the bitterness twice. Think of the body. When you tense the fist, it grows tired. When you open it, blood flows again. The same is true for the heart. Resentment clenches, release restores. How do we practice this? Begin with recognition. Name the wound. Say quietly, "Yes, I was hurt. Yes, I felt dismissed. Yes, I was overlooked." Do not hide it. Do not exaggerate it. See it as it is. Then ask, does holding this help me? Does replaying this serve me? Or does it chain me to what I cannot change? The Stoics would say, others may injure you once, but only you can injure yourself by keeping it alive. So tonight, breathe. With each inhale, acknowledge the pain. With each exhale, let a piece of it leave. Not all at once, not perfectly, but gently, steadily. Release is not a single act. It is a practice, over and over, until the coal grows cold. Epictetus taught, when another blames you or hates you, or when men voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside and see what sort of people they are. You will realize that there is no need to be racked with anxiety that they should hold any particular opinion about you. Do you see? When you step back, you realize their actions come from their nature, their habits, their ignorance, not from your worth. The insult was theirs to give. It need not be yours to keep. Seneca said, "Anger, an acid that does more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured." Resentment is the same. It corrodes the vessel that holds it. When you store it, you suffer most. When you pour it out, peace returns. So tonight, let us empty the vessel. Picture the hurts of the day as stones in your hand, heavy, sharp. Notice their weight. Now, open the hand. Let them fall. Feel the freedom in the release. You may hear the mind protest. If I release, they win. But this is illusion. Release is not weakness. Release is victory, for it proves that your soul cannot be chained by another's act. Marcus again, choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. This is the discipline of perception, not to deny reality, but to refuse to let it define you. Resentment belongs to the day. Release belongs to the night. Let the day keep what is its. Carry nothing unnecessary into your rest. As you drift, repeat softly, I release what is not mine. I keep only what belongs to me, my peace, my reason, my soul. And with each breath, let the grip loosen, let the wound breathe. Let the night close gently over the noise. Tomorrow, you will rise clearer, not because the world has changed, but because you refuse to carry its poison forward. This is the quiet strength of release. It does not erase what happened, it transforms what remains, turning resentment into freedom, turning wounds into wisdom, turning the night into peace. The power of perspective. The events of the day are often beyond us. A word spoken, a door closed, a plan interrupted. These belong to the world outside, but how you see them that belongs to you. Epictetus said it plainly. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This sentence is the heart of Stoic freedom. The same event can wound one person and strengthen another. The same storm can drown one sailor and train another. The difference is not in the storm, the difference is in the eye that sees it. Think of glass, half empty, half full. The glass is the same. Only the perspective changes, and with it, the feeling of life. Now think of your own day. Perhaps someone dismissed you. You can say, "They disrespected me. I am less because of it." Or you can say, "They revealed their impatience. That is theirs, not mine. The event is unchanged, but your interpretation rewrites the experience." Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it." Pain arises not from the event, but from the judgment you attach to it. Perspective is not denial. It does not mean you pretend pain does not exist. It means you place it in its true size. You shrink what is small back to small. You stop making shadows into giants. Imagine you are holding a pebble close to your eye. It seems large, blocking the whole horizon. Now, move it away. Place it on the ground. From a distance, it is only a stone. Your perspective shrank it back to truth. This is the practice of Stoicism. To put each event at the right distance, to refuse to let the mind turn every pebble into a mountain. Consider also joy. Two people may receive the same gift. One says, "It is too little." The other says, "It is more than I expected." Same gift, different perspective, different life. Seneca said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." Enjoyment comes not from the abundance of gifts, but from the perspective that sees their value. So, tonight, reflect on the power of your own lens. What story did you tell about today? Did you cast yourself as the victim of every slight? Or did you see yourself as a student, learning from what occurred? The Stoics chose the latter. They asked, "What lesson hides in this? What strength can this build? What virtue can I practice here?" Perspective transformed burden into training ground. Epictetus reminded his students, "You are not disturbed by events, but by your opinion of events. If opinion can wound, opinion can also heal. The choice lies in you. Tonight, you can practice this. Bring to mind one difficulty from your day. A harsh word, a failure, a delay. Now, step back. Ask, what else could this mean? What other way could I see it? Maybe the harsh word is a sign of the other's struggle, not your inadequacy. Maybe the failure is a teacher in disguise, pointing to where you can grow. Maybe the delay protected you from rushing into harm. Perspective does not erase the event, it reframes it. It shifts your posture from despair to strength. Think of the archer. When the arrow misses, he does not curse the target. He adjusts his aim. The miss becomes information. The failure becomes direction. This is perspective. Now breathe, inhale, exhale. As you breathe, repeat softly, "It is not what happens. It is how I see it. It is how I meet it." Notice the release that comes with this thought. You are no longer chained to events. You are free to choose your stance toward them. Marcus wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This is the ultimate perspective shift. Obstacles are not interruptions, they are paths. They train the soul as weights train the body. So tonight, let perspective reshape the weight of the day. Let the sharp words become reminders of patience. Let the disappointments become lessons in resilience. Let the delays become opportunities for calm. For perspective is not just an idea, it is a practice, a discipline of the mind, a training in freedom. And as you rest, remember this: the world will continue to send events beyond your control, but the meaning you give them, that remains in your hands. So carry this thought into sleep. It is not what happens to me, it is how I respond that matters. With that thought, the heart lightens, the mind softens, and peace returns. On death as a reminder, perspective shapes how we live, and the sharpest perspective of all comes from remembering that life does not last forever. The Stoics carried a simple phrase: memento mori, remember, you must die. At first, the words sound harsh. To many, they feel like a shadow, a warning to fear, a truth to avoid. But for the Stoics, memento mori was not darkness, it was light, not despair, but awakening, not a threat, but a call to live. Marcus Aurelius, Emperor of Rome, wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." He was not inviting panic, he was inviting presence. If life could end at any moment, then every moment must be lived with care. Every choice must be shaped by what truly matters. We often live as if tomorrow is guaranteed. We delay kindness. We put off gratitude. We save love for later. We say, "One day I will rest. One day I will live. One day I will be present." But memento mori whispers back, one day is not promised. Only today is. Seneca warned us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Life feels short, not because the years are too few, but because the hours are squandered. We lose them to distraction, to resentment, to pursuits that do not matter. The reminder of death is not meant to make us smaller. It is meant to strip away illusion. It removes the unimportant and leaves only what is essential. Think of a sunset. It glows with beauty precisely because it does not last. If it lingered forever, you would stop noticing it. So too with life. Its brevity is not a curse. It is the very thing that makes it precious. Imagine, for a moment, if you were immortal. Every day stretched into eternity. Would you treasure your morning coffee? Would you hurry to forgive? Would you run to embrace the people you love? Or would you delay endlessly, believing time was infinite? It is because we are mortal that we must savor, because the clock is finite. Each moment becomes priceless. The Stoics carried memento mori as a daily compass, not to brood, but to choose wisely. They asked, if this were my last conversation, would I want it to end with harsh words? If this were my final day, would I spend it on resentment, or would I choose gratitude? If death were close, what would matter most? These questions sharpen life. They cut through trivialities. They remind us that many of the things we fight for, worry over, and cling to are not worthy of the hours we give them. Epictetus spoke with clarity. I must die, but must I die bawling? I must be imprisoned, but must I whine as well? He knew death itself is beyond choice, but how you meet it, that remains in your control. The Stoic is not afraid to look at death. He looks, and he sees life more clearly. He remembers that the day just past is already a kind of death. It will never return, and yet it carried lessons. It carried moments of beauty. It carried opportunities for virtue. Tonight, reflect gently. Life is finite. You do not know how many nights remain, but you know this one is yours. This breath is yours. This silence is yours. What then should be your response? Not fear, not despair, but gratitude. To live this night fully, to love without delay, to rest deeply, knowing that rest itself is a gift. Think of those you care for. When did you last speak words of love? When did you last pause to truly see them? Memento mori reminds you, do not wait. Say what must be said while the chance remains. Forgive while there is time. Embrace while arms are still warm. This is not morbid. It is liberating. It frees you from postponing life. It teaches you to act now. Marcus Aurelius also said, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Do not live as if eternity is yours. Do not hoard your kindness. Spend it today. Do not save your courage. Practice it now. To remember death is to remember urgency, not the anxious urgency of panic, but the calm urgency of meaning, the urgency that says, this matters, this deserves my attention, the rest can wait. Try this reflection before you drift into sleep. Close your eyes. Bring to mind the truth. This day will never return. It is already gone. Tomorrow is uncertain. It may arrive, it may not. But this moment, this breath, this stillness is here. Say quietly to yourself, I will not waste it. I will not sleep in resentment. I will not dream in bitterness. I will let this night be enough. And in that practice, death ceases to frighten. It becomes a teacher. It becomes the reason you live awake. The Stoics often visualized the end, not to sink into despair, but to awaken gratitude. When you see the end clearly, the present grows brighter, the small joys gleam, the burdens shrink. So tonight, let memento mori soften you. Let it strip away what does not matter. Let it teach you that presence is the only true response to mortality, for death is certain, but fear is optional, and gratitude is always within reach. Rest, then, with this truth. You are mortal, and that is what makes your life infinitely valuable. Memento mori. Remember, you must die, not to tremble, but to awaken, not to shrink, but to live. On gratitude before sleep, the night is quiet now. The day has closed its doors. You have faced its storms, and you have carried its weight. And here, in this silence, there remains one final practice before sleep, the practice of gratitude. Gratitude is not an ornament of joy. It is the foundation of peace. It is not reserved for those whose lives are free from struggle. It is a discipline for those who know struggle well. It is the act of directing the mind toward what is present, toward what is good, even in the midst of imperfection. Seneca wrote, "He is most powerful who has power over himself." And what greater proof of self-mastery than to command your mind toward thanks when it would rather dwell on loss? To see clearly that the power to suffer or to rejoice does not lie in fortune, but in focus. Think of your day. It may have been filled with noise. It may have carried moments of disappointment, words that stung, tasks that remained undone. And yet beneath it all, there were gifts. Small perhaps, easy to overlook, but real. Gratitude is the discipline of noticing them. It is the training of the eye to see what is already here. So let us practice now. 3 things, not 1,000, not impossible, just 3. Enough to soften the heart, enough to guide the mind toward rest. The first, gratitude, a moment of ease. Think back over the hours. Was there one moment, even brief, when you felt ease? Perhaps sunlight touched your skin. Perhaps laughter broke through heaviness. Perhaps a meal warmed you, or silence gave you breath. Hold that moment now. Let it replay in your mind. Notice how it feels, not grand, but steady. Say quietly to yourself, "Thank you." This is the first anchor, a moment of ease, proof that even in a day of burdens, light still entered. The second, gratitude, a person. Now, bring to mind one person, someone who touched your day, a friend who listened, a co-worker who showed patience, a stranger who offered a small courtesy, nod, a smile, a door held open. Perhaps it was not much. But gratitude is not about size, it is about sight. Hold their face gently in your thought. Say quietly, "Thank you." This is the second anchor, a reminder that life is not walked alone, that others, in small ways, share the path. The third, gratitude, a strength within. Now, turn inward. Search yourself. Was there a moment today when you showed strength, when you resisted anger, when you endured without complaint, when you took one step forward despite the weight of hesitation? It may have been small, it may have gone unnoticed, but you know it, you carried it, and for that, be grateful. Say quietly, "Thank you." This is the third anchor, a reminder that within you already lives resilience, already lives power. 3 gratitudes, one moment, one person, one strength, enough to tilt the scale of the mind away from scarcity toward abundance. Notice now how the heart shifts. The burdens of the day grow lighter. The edges of resentment soften. The mind, once restless, finds a place to rest. This is the power of gratitude. It does not erase imperfection. It reframes it. It says, "Yes, the day was flawed. Yes, I was flawed. But here is what remains. Here is what still shines." And this choice to attend to what is present is mastery. Seneca's words echo again. He is most powerful who has power over himself. Gratitude is this power. The power to decide where the mind will rest. The power to create peace without waiting for the world to change. Think of gratitude as a lens. Through it, the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The simple meal becomes abundance. The small kindness becomes treasure. The quiet breath becomes miracle. Without gratitude, life passes unseen. With gratitude, life deepens, not by gaining more, but by noticing more. So tonight, close the day with thanks. Do not let bitterness write the final word. Do not let resentment claim the last hour. Choose gratitude as your closing thought. Breathe in, receive. Breathe out, thank you. Breathe in this day. Breathe out, thank you. Breathe in this life. Breathe out, thank you. Let each breath be both gift and response. Let gratitude become your lullaby. And as sleep approaches, remember this. Gratitude is not weakness, it is strength. It is not an escape, it is alignment. Alignment with the truth that even in hardship, life still offers something worth noticing. And when you notice, you are rich. Rest tonight in abundance. Not abundance of possessions, but abundance of presence. Not abundance of fortune, but abundance of awareness. 3 gratitudes. A moment, a person, a strength. Let them cradle you now. Let them carry you into sleep. And tomorrow, when you wake, carry the practice forward. For gratitude at night is not an end. It is the beginning of wisdom. It is the quiet proof that you already have enough. The Stoic practice of journaling in the mind, gratitude, closes the day with peace. But the Stoics also ended their day with another discipline, reflection, a kind of journaling, not always written on paper, but inscribed within the mind. They asked themselves, as night approached, what did I do today? What did I do well? What did I do poorly? What could I do differently tomorrow? This was not an act of punishment. It was not a courtroom of self-condemnation. It was a mirror, held gently, a practice of seeing oneself clearly, without distortion. Seneca described it: "When the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent, I examine my entire day and go back over what I have done, and said, I hide nothing from myself. I pass nothing by. For why should I fear any consequence from my mistakes, when I can say, beware of doing that again, and this time I pardon you?" Do you hear the tone? Firm, but compassionate. Honest, but not cruel. This is the Stoic way of journaling in the mind. The mirror of the day. Imagine yourself standing before a mirror. Not a mirror of glass, but of memory. It reflects the choices of the day, the moments of strength, the moments of weakness. Look into it calmly. Do not flinch. Do not exaggerate. Say, yes, here I was patient. Here I was careless. Here I resisted anger. Here I surrendered too quickly. See it all, for only what is seen can be shaped. Without judgment, with clarity. The danger is to turn reflection into accusation, to scold, to shame, to curse yourself for imperfection. But this is not the Stoic way. They sought clarity, not cruelty. For if you condemn yourself harshly, you break the will to grow. But if you observe with balance, you cultivate wisdom. The farmer does not curse the soil for weeds. He notices, he removes, he prepares better for tomorrow. So too with your soul. A simple practice. As you lie here tonight, before sleep fully takes you, review the day gently. Begin at morning. Move through the hours slowly. Notice what you did, what you said, what you felt. Pause at 3 questions. 1. What did I do well? Name it. Honor it. Let gratitude rise again for the strength you showed. 2. What did I do poorly? Name it also, but without hatred. Simply mark it as you would a lesson. 3. What can I do differently tomorrow? Plant the seed in your mind. No grand vows, just small adjustments. The work of a craftsman, shaping slowly. This is mental journaling, a review, a rehearsal for virtue. The gift of small steps. Do not underestimate the power of this practice. Each night's reflection is a step. Small, quiet, but compounding over years. Character is not built in a single day. It is built in these small reckonings, night after night, until the soul becomes steady. Epictetus told his students, "First, say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do." Reflection is where this begins. You see who you were today, you imagine who you could be tomorrow, and you align the two. Forgiveness as part of reflection. Remember, too, to forgive yourself. Seneca pardoned himself at the end of each review, not because mistakes were trivial, but because punishment is less useful than resolve. So when you see your fault, say, "I notice, I understand, I will do better," and then release it. Do not carry it into sleep. The purpose of reflection is growth, not guilt. The night as a ledger. Imagine your mind as a ledger. Each day you add lines, some in credit, some in debt. At night you review the account. You balance it. You learn from it. And then you close the book. Tomorrow you will open a new page. But tonight the book is settled. There is peace in that closing. Self-mastery. Through reflection, he is most powerful who has power over himself. Gratitude gives this power in one way, reflection gives it in another. For to review your actions honestly, without denial, is to claim responsibility for your life. No blaming fate, no blaming others, only asking, what was mine? What can I improve? What must I release? This is mastery, the kind that no fortune, no emperor, no enemy can grant or remove. Practice now, close your eyes. Let the day replay softly, not in sharp detail, but in broad strokes. See the moments that rise. Place them gently into 3 baskets: strengths, mistakes, lessons for tomorrow. Say to your strengths, thank you. Say to your mistakes, I see you. Say to your lessons, I will carry you forward. And then close the baskets. Let them rest until morning. Closing thought. Journaling in the mind is not about rewriting the day. It is about releasing it. It is about ending the day with clarity, not confusion, with direction, not drift. So tonight, let this be your practice. Review, learn, forgive, release, and as sleep takes you, carry this truth. The past cannot be changed, but the self can be shaped. And every night, you hold the chisel in your hand. On nature and harmony, the Stoics often returned to nature. For them, nature was not background. It was the teacher, the guide, the frame of all wisdom. To live well was to live in harmony with it. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Constantly regard the universe as one living being, having one substance and one soul." This was not poetry, it was philosophy, a reminder that you are not separate from the whole. You are part of it. You breathe its air. You move within its rhythm. You rise and fall as it does. And what is sleep, if not a return to nature's rhythm? The body, after its labor, yields. The mind, after its effort, softens. The day closes, the night opens, and you, like every tree, every tide, every star, move into rest. The rhythm of nature. Look at the seasons. Spring awakens, summer flourishes, autumn lets go, winter rests. This is nature's cycle. Your life follows the same order: action and pause, growth and surrender, wakefulness and sleep. When you refuse this rhythm, you fight against the universe itself. When you align with it, you find harmony. So tonight, sleep is not a waste of hours. It is participation in the order of the world. It is nature reclaiming her balance in you. The harmony of breath. Consider the breath. It enters, it leaves, a tide within your chest. The inhale is day, the exhale is night. A constant rhythm, ancient and eternal. You do not command it, you receive it. And in receiving, you are reminded, you are part of a greater whole. Each breath connects you to the trees that exhale the air you inhale. Each breath ties you to the wind, to the ocean, to the stars that burned to form the elements in your body. You are not apart. You are woven into the fabric of all that is, the stillness of night. Look outside, even if only in imagination. The sky stretches dark, the stars scatter across it, the world grows quiet, even the animals withdraw. This is not emptiness, this is harmony, the earth resting in her own cycle. And you belong to this cycle too. Your rest is part of nature's order. Your stillness tonight is as natural as the turning of planets, as the falling of leaves, as the retreat of tides. When you sleep, you are not leaving the world behind. You are returning to it. You are returning to the same silence that cradles mountains, forests and seas. Letting go as nature teaches. Nature teaches release. The tree lets go of its leaves. The river lets go of the rain. The sun lets go of the day. So too must you let go of your burdens when night arrives. You are not meant to carry them endlessly. You are meant to set them down, to allow your body to rest, to allow your soul to reset. This letting go is not failure, it is participation in the greater harmony, finding place in the whole. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that he was a limb of a greater body, that his life was not solitary, but connected. When you rest, the world continues, the rivers flow, the stars burn, the tides rise and fall. You do not need to control them, you only need to align with them. This is humility, this is peace. To accept that you are not master of the universe, but participant in it, and that participation is enough. A simple practice. Before you close your eyes, reflect on 3 harmonies. First, harmony with your body. Feel its weight. Feel its tiredness. It has carried you. Now it asks to rest. Honor it. Say quietly, rest. Second, harmony with nature around you. The night sky, the silence, the rhythm of cycles greater than you. Trust them. Say quietly, I belong. Third, harmony with the universe as a whole, the vast order that holds galaxies and souls alike. The living being Marcus spoke of. Yield to it. Say quietly, I am part. 3 harmonies, body, nature, universe. Together, they return you to stillness. Closing thought sleep, then, is not escape. It is reunion. It is the soul remembering its place in the great order. It is the body aligning again with the cycles of earth and sky. So as you drift, carry this truth. You are not apart from nature, you are of it. You are not an exile in the universe. You are a note in its song. Marcus's words echo once more. Constantly regard the universe as one living being, and know, to live in harmony with it is to live in peace. On detachment and peace, the day has ended. Its noise, its demands, its weight, all of it has passed. And now, in the quiet of night, you are invited into a deeper practice, detachment. Detachment does not mean indifference. It does not mean refusing to care. It means caring wisely. It means holding the world gently without letting it chain your soul. Much of our unrest comes not from what happens, but from what we demand should happen. We cling to outcomes. We tie our peace to results. We say, I will be calm if I succeed. I will be happy if they love me. I will rest if tomorrow goes as I imagine. But life does not obey such bargains. And so, when the world moves differently, our hearts shatter. Not because reality is cruel, but because attachment was rigid. The weight of attachment. Think of the hand. When it grasps too tightly, it tires. When it never lets go, it aches. Attachment is this tight grasp, a refusal to release. We cling to possessions, to reputation, to comfort, to people, to the illusion of control, and in clinging, we suffer. Seneca warned, "He is most powerful who has power over himself." But how can you master yourself if you are chained to what is outside your control? Detachment is this mastery, the art of loosening the grip, the art of saying, my peace does not depend on what I cannot command. Peace in release. To detach is not to abandon love, it is to love without chains. It is to say, I am grateful for what I have, but if it changes, if it leaves, I remain whole. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, when you kiss your child, say to yourself, tomorrow they may die, but it does not diminish the love, it deepens it. Detachment deepens life. It frees love from fear. It frees joy from possession. It frees peace from condition. When you release attachment, you discover a new freedom, the freedom to live fully in the moment without anxiety about losing it. The practice of the new dawn. The Stoics often imagined loss, not to grow bitter, but to prepare the mind, and they also imagined renewal, to train hope rightly. Tonight, practice this. Close your eyes, picture the morning to come. Imagine it as a blank page, a clean slate, a new beginning. The burdens of today do not need to follow. The mistakes of today do not need to stain tomorrow. The resentments of today do not need to chain your peace. See yourself waking, light filling the room, the air cool and new. See yourself stepping into a day untouched by yesterday's shadows. This is detachment in practice, the art of letting each day be new, the courage to let go. Many resist detachment because they believe, if I let go, I will lose. If I loosen my grip, everything will slip away. But the truth is the opposite. When you cling, you strangle life. When you release, you allow life to breathe. Detachment is courage. The courage to face tomorrow without guarantees. The courage to rest tonight without demanding certainty. The courage to love without needing to own. Epictetus said, "When you are delighted with anything, remember to hold it not as one who clings, but as one who is prepared to let go." This is wisdom. To hold with open hands, to enjoy without enslaving, to release without despair. A gentle reflection. Ask yourself now, what am I holding too tightly? A worry, a regret, an expectation? See it clearly, acknowledge it. Then, with your breath, practice release. Inhale, see it. Exhale, let it go. Again, inhale, see it. Exhale, release. You do not need to resolve everything tonight. You do not need to secure every outcome. You need only to release your grip, to rest in the truth that tomorrow is new. Peace beyond possession. Peace does not live in the world's promises. It does not live in success, or comfort, or control. It lives in the soul that says, I will not be chained by what I cannot keep. When you practice detachment, you place your peace back in your own hands. You no longer wait for the world to behave. You no longer beg circumstances for calm. You carry calm within. This is not coldness, it is strength. It is the strength to walk through change without breaking, the strength to meet loss without despair, the strength to live fully without fear of the end. Closing thought. So tonight, let detachment be your rest. Release the grip of today. Release the demands for tomorrow. Let each thought, each burden, fall away like leaves in autumn. Picture yourself at dawn, a new day rising, a new beginning waiting. Carry nothing heavy into it. Carry only yourself, calm and steady. And as sleep takes you, remember, peace is not found in clinging. Peace is found in release. Detachment is not loss. It is freedom. It is the quiet doorway to peace. The mind at rest. The mind has carried much today. It has calculated, defended, compared, and judged. It has planned for tomorrow and replayed yesterday. But now, the day is over. The body lies still. The hour asks for something deeper, not effort, not striving, but rest. What does it mean for the mind to rest? It does not mean emptiness. It does not mean ignorance. It means freedom from struggle. It means a quiet strength where the mind no longer wrestles with itself. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, if you are troubled by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your judgment about them. When the judgment ceases, so does the disturbance. Peace does not come by controlling the world. It comes by releasing the argument within. The lake as an image. Imagine a wide lake at dawn. The air is cool. The sky rests above it like a calm hand. The water is smooth, like glass stretched to the horizon. No ripples, no splashes, only stillness. This is the mind at rest. Reflective, clear, not forcing clarity, but allowing it. Not straining to be calm, but naturally calm because nothing is being thrown into it. Each anxious thought is like a stone, each regret like a stick breaking the surface, each demand like a gust of wind. If you stop throwing, if you stop stirring, the lake finds its balance again. So too the mind. The discipline of stopping all day you have added stones, plans, disappointments, expectations. But tonight you can stop, not forever, not for all time, just for this night. Stop the hand that throws, stop the voice that argues, stop the demand that says, think more, fix more. Inhale and notice the surface. Exhale and let one ripple fade. Again, inhale quiet, exhale, release. Each breath brings the water closer to stillness. Each breath teaches the mind, you are safe now. Rest as strength. Many confuse rest with weakness. They believe, if I stop, I will fall behind. If I let go, I will lose control. But the truth is opposite. A mind in constant battle exhausts itself. A mind at rest gathers power. Like an archer pulling the bowstring back, the stillness before release contains strength. Seneca said, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. But the mind at rest does not rehearse tomorrow. It stands in today. It breathes where it is. It finds joy not in victory, but in silence." A practice of rest. Before you close your eyes, let us practice gently. Step 1. Notice the breath. No need to deepen it, no need to measure. Only notice. The inhale arrives, the exhale leaves, without struggle, without command. Let the breath teach you the rhythm of rest. Step 2. Release the weight. Bring to mind one burden from today. See it clearly. Then picture placing it on the shore of the lake. You do not throw it away. You simply set it down. The water does not need it, neither do you. Step 3. Stay with the image. The lake, flat, quiet. The sky reflected without distortion. Let your mind become that surface. Let thoughts appear like clouds above. They may drift, but the lake remains undisturbed. The gift of stillness. Stillness is not the absence of life. It is the fullness of life seen without distortion. Only when the water is still can it reflect the stars. Only when the mind is calm can it reflect truth. In stillness, you see yourself clearly, not as better than you are, not as worse than you are, simply as you are. And that is enough. Peace does not demand perfection, it demands honesty. The honesty of resting without disguise, letting sleep arrive. Sleep is not something you chase, it is something you allow. You do not command the water to be calm, you stop disturbing it, and calm appears. So too with sleep. Stop wrestling, stop demanding, let the body rest, let the mind release, and sleep will come, like night falling over the lake, soft, natural, inevitable. Closing thought. The mind at rest is the mind at peace. It is not conquered by desire. It is not enslaved by fear. It is not bound by constant argument. It is free precisely because it has stopped fighting. So tonight, become the lake. Flat, still, clear. Let the stars of wisdom reflect on your surface. Let the silence of the night enter your soul. Say quietly, I do not need to struggle now. I do not need to chase. I rest. And with that rest, the mind returns to its natural state, calm, steady, like water unbroken beneath the moon, the Stoic benediction of night. The journey of this night draws to a close. But before sleep fully claims you, pause with me in one last reflection. You have walked through many lessons tonight: acceptance, time, silence, gratitude, detachment, rest, each one a step deeper into stillness. Each one a reminder that the Stoic path is not an escape from life, but a way of meeting life with clarity. And what is sleep, if not the daily practice of Stoicism itself? Sleep is surrender. Sleep is trust. Sleep is letting go of what you cannot hold. Think of it. Each night, you release everything: your work, your name, your duties, your plans. You place them down as if laying tools on the ground, and you drift into a state where control no longer belongs to you. Is this not the very art of philosophy? To yield to what is beyond you, to rest in what is within you. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself often, if you seek tranquility, do less, or more accurately, do what is essential, which brings a double satisfaction: to do less, better. Sleep is this act of doing less, of reducing the burden to what is essential, of closing the day's account and accepting it as complete. Seneca also wrote, each day is a life, and so each night is a death of sorts, a gentle rehearsal for the final release. But it is not meant to frighten you. It is meant to awaken you to the gift of renewal. For as surely as the sun sets, it also rises, and in the morning a new life begins again. Tonight, let your sleep be more than recovery. Let it be practice, a living exercise in Stoicism. When you close your eyes, you train the art of trust. When you let go of the day, you train the art of detachment. When you rest in stillness, you train the art of peace. Consider how the body already knows this. It does not fight the night. It follows its rhythm. The heart slows. The breath deepens. The muscles soften. Nature takes its course, and in yielding, you are restored. So let the mind do the same. Let it yield. Let it follow the body into harmony. No need to resist. No need to demand. No need to replay what has already ended. The Stoics would say, do not ask the night to be different. Do not ask tomorrow to arrive sooner. Do not ask yesterday to return. Stay where you are. Here, in this hour, peace is already present. This is the benediction of night, that rest itself becomes a teacher, that in stillness you practice wisdom, that in letting go you discover strength. So as you drift now, let the words become simple. No long reasoning, no sharp logic, only a soft invitation. Release, rest, renew. Release what is beyond you. Rest in what is within you. Renew your strength in the quiet of sleep, and when the morning comes, rise not as one who was carried by chance, but as one who practiced philosophy in the silence of the night. Rise with clarity, rise with calm, rise with the memory that peace was not given to you by the world, but chosen by your soul. So let the night close gently over you. Let the darkness be not emptiness, but shelter. Let silence cover you like a cloak, and let these final words carry you into rest. Tonight, let go of what is beyond you. Rest in what is within you. For peace is not given by the world, but chosen by the soul.